Okay, everybody, here we go. It is me, Gregory Mannarino. It is Tuesday, March 21st, 2023. Are you watching stock futures this morning? Higher across the board. This market is about to rally, at least at the open here. Now, let's see. Let's sit back for a moment and think. What could possibly cause this to happen? Well, lots of things. Let's start off with this. So Janet Yellen, our lovely Janet Yellen. We love Janet Yellen, don't we? Yeah, this is what she had to say. The banking system is stabilizing and she promises more backstops if needed. That's all the market needed to know. It wasn't so much yesterday that we found out that central banks are willing to do anything. No matter what it takes to re-liquefy an illiquid system. Stocks did do okay yesterday. Actually, not bad. But today we're going to build on that rally, and it gets even better than that. So we understand what happened with First Republic Bank. They got this $30 billion rescue, which failed. All right, stock got hammered yesterday, but look at First Republic stock this morning pre-market. It's higher very nicely. Do you know why? Because now there's going to be, they're talking about a second rescue. You see, the first rescue didn't work. Obviously, it was never a rescue. It was only to cover withdrawals. There was a run on that bank. So now a second rescue is required, and you're not going to believe who's leading the charge. Leading the charge to, second rescue First Republic. It's Jamie Dimon. Jamie Dimon himself, the CEO of the Wall Street Superbank, JP Morgan. Now, pre-market, speaking about JP Morgan, the big banks all higher across the board. And that's again because of Janet Yellen, who's saying that, pretty much what central banks are saying. She's an ex-central banker. I guess you're never an ex-central banker. I don't know. Former Fed chairperson Janet Yellen, now U.S. Treasury Secretary. It's just lovely how this is worded. Hold that thought here. Janet Yellen, banking system is stabilizing and promises more backstops. What does this sound like to you? Does this sound like a free market at all? No, this is definitely a move towards a fascist, communist system, a nationalizing of the banks, kind of like Nazi Germany did. Yes, that's correct. Wow. That just came to mind. Imagine Greg Mannarino's shock here. Imagine your shock. On the back of all this, there seems to be somewhat of a sell-off here in the debt market, the global debt market. The U.S. 10-year yield jumped almost 10 basis points higher. That's interesting. The relative strength of the dollar is lower, MMRI higher at 228 last time I looked at it. A couple of other nice, lovely things are going on. Crude oil is catching a bid this morning. Gold and silver are under a little pressure, which is interesting because the U.S. dollar on a relative strength basis is weaker. Okay, whatever. Let them play their games. We're going to play our games. Bitcoin over 28,000, looking pretty freaking lovely. Now, I want you to pay attention to the wording here. So I'm flipping through the channels as usual. So there's more talk on the back of what Yellen said about, more backstops for the banking system, and what we understand the Federal Reserve is, and central banks are going to just, whatever they got to do here, okay, forget about it. They're going to go crazy here, ballistic, adding digits to a screen just to pump the system yet again, and that's another reason why I think stock futures higher. But they're talking about credit flow through the markets. Credit flow through the economy. So we got a little hint of this yesterday, if you saw the video I did at the end of the day. What they're talking about here is trying to prevent, because it's going to happen eventually, a locking up of the credit systems. That means all transactions stop. Everything. It just ends. So they're changing the words here, the wording to credit flow. See, people aren't going to understand credit flow. If you said a locking up of the system, well, everyone understands that. But credit flow, no one gets it. They have to twist these words around as usual. So it keeps people in the dark. But when you hear, if you just happen to have the displeasure of flipping through the channels, CNBC, Bloomberg, Fox Business, whatever, CNN Business, and they're talking about credit flow, they're talking about the movement of credit or the availability of credit through the market, credit, debt. This is, again, why you're seeing this mechanism of, look, this is no surprise. How many of you have been with me for any length of time, and we've explained that the debt is going to balloon, and then balloon even higher? Again, what do we have? We have a system here where, well, credit flow is threatening to lock up. So what do? Even though we have a system awash with debt, it's never enough, no matter what they do. I don't care about the second rescue for this bank. I don't care about what Janet Yellen is talking about with regard to more backstops and the market's getting off. Oh, yeah, spraying its shorts all over the place. It's not enough. They can't. It's just, it will never be enough. The reason why it will never be enough, because every minute, the amount of debt that must be pumped in the system to allow credit to flow, using their words, is growing exponentially. That's the nature of the beast, the nature of the debt-based economic model, which is a curse upon this world. Now, let me ask you another question here. As you go to accountability, why is it, in your opinion, I want to hear from you, and I really want you to answer this question, being that, again, this entire situation seemed to just not get caught by not one single banking regulator, not the Federal Reserve itself, nor the U.S. Treasury. Let me ask you on this. Why is it that there's no accountability here? Why is it, in your opinion, that no banking regulators are being held to account? The Federal Reserve is not being held to account. The U.S. Treasury, including Yellen, is not being held to account. They can't be held to account. Again, these are part of the untouchables. Who's going to pay for all this? Okay, let me explain this to you in case you don't know. What they're talking about, what Yellen is saying here, and what central banks, the Federal Reserve, about reliquefying a completely illiquid system, and no matter how much liquidity or credit or debt, all the same thing, they want to add to the system, it will not be enough. What you and I can expect here, okay, and this is a no-brainer. Can I please get a preemptive duh? Give me one. A preemptive duh. Duh. Okay. Thank you. We're going to see inflation surge beyond anyone's wildest dreams, because, again, you can't add unlimited liquidity or unlimited backstops to a system and rescue one that doesn't work and rescue two that doesn't work, being led by Jamie Dimon, the Superman of Wall Street here, okay? Forget about the Robin Hood of Wall Street. Jamie Dimon must be the Superman of Wall Street, because he's now leading the charge for the second rescue on First Republic Bank. Look, you can't pump the system like this and there not be a ripple effect through the entire global economy. How can you pump trillions of dollars into the system? Because that's what we're talking about. We are talking about multiple trillions of dollars into the system to backstop it. That's the word that was used by Yellen. Unlimited liquidity by central banks and every freaking else, and not have the issue of inflation in your freaking face. You understand? And then we have the specter of central banks who are going to continue to raise rates. The European Central Bank just raised rates 50 basis points. Tomorrow, we're going to hear from the supreme it of all time. All right, the real government, the real leader of the world. That is J. Powell Yellowstone. Imagine we have a world leader who goes by the nickname, which we gave him, of Yellowstone. Well, that should tell you something. Dark yellow, disgusting, putrid, vomitous Yellowstone. We're going to hear from him tomorrow, and we're going to get a rate hike. I know how many people out here are saying, no, it's going to happen. If we don't get a rate hike tomorrow, I won't believe it. I really won't. I will fall off my chair and maybe go into cardiac arrest. I just can't foresee that happening. There's going to be a hike. I'm going to say it again, 25 basis points. In the outlier, it could be 50 on the back of unlimited backstops, on the back of unlimited easy money that's going to be pumped in. Imagine this. Imagine we have a situation here right now where easy money is now being pumped into the market probably at a greater pace than we've ever seen in the history of the world. And no accountability. Why? Why is it? Really, honestly. No regulators got in trouble for this. The Fed, blameless. Janet Yellen herself, oh, she's blameless too because she's promising more backstop, while Superman Jamie Dimon is leading the charge to do a second rescue on First Republic. Make it up. I dare one of you to make this stuff up, honestly. Anyway, that's the situation. And the mega banks this morning, they're all getting bid higher pre-market. Imagine how surprised we all are. I don't know about you, but I don't think so. This system is so twisted. It is so fake. It is so rigged. It is so out of control, although it's all about control, all right? This is something I believe a lot of us here would have expected. It's not going to stop. How many times have you heard me tell you, it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. I'm like a broken record. It's not going to stop. The global debt is going to balloon. How many times have you heard me say that? Multiples higher. Multiples higher. And inflation, multiples higher. But then they're going to tell you, oh, it's Russia's fault. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's China's fault. No, maybe it's China and Russia's fault, and it's the war, and it's the this and that. Again, anything to deflect you from the truth, where it was just missed. Really, it was just no one saw this coming. You and I did. From eight months ago, at a minimum, we started talking about no deposits, no loans, no deals. We knew that. We knew the banking system was failing from at least 8 months ago. All right. How is it that the regulators didn't see that? How is it Yellen didn't see that? How is it that the Federal Reserve didn't see that? Imagine my shock. Oh, of course they saw it, people, because this is a consolidation of power on an epic scale, and we haven't seen anything yet. Count on it. I will see all of you later for my live stream, 1:05 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I usually put out the live stream almost an hour before, so people get the notification on that. Anyway, look, people, have your questions ready for me. We'll answer them. We'll cover your questions later. And again, please share the video. Please comment. If this video was interesting to you, please a thumbs up would be appreciated. And I want to hear from you on the stuff we talked about here. What? Really? Let me know. I'll see you later.